Hey guys, Rick Shaw here. It's kind of cool out. Sorry I haven't been yakking with you guys for a while. Nothing much has really changed. I had taken that medicine for the diarrhea, and then I had one day where it came back. Called the doctor, and they said, "Well, if it's not 25 times a day, don't worry about it." And I'm back to normal now. But last week, it the weather here was so terrible. All of us are boogered up, the whole family. We got we had 50-degree temperatures, and it would say on the little weather thing I have on my phone that it feels like 38. And the kids didn't even want to go out to play. They had their last day of school yesterday, so they were off all day today. I had to go do some banking, and I bought them some ice cream. And I got to go to the store tomorrow and get some more water. We're running low. But I picked up today. I got the oil change for the car. I was doing as much research on the oil as I could. I was always like a Mobil One or AMSOIL guy. And on this Dave's Auto, he's got an oil geek that comes on his show. And this guy did an in-depth research into all the oils, and he couldn't really find any difference in them. This thing takes a Dextos 1 530. It's a full synthetic, and I bought the Napa brand, and I bought an extra quart. I won't need it because the car isn't using any oil, but that way the next one I can buy one less. But I always like to have a quart. There's a good place I could stick it under the hood. I did that in every car I ever had. I always keep an extra quart, because some places you go to, you might not find that oil. When I first went to the store, I couldn't find it. I had to get the guy to come over, and he found it. And I asked him if he had the big jug, and he went in the back and got me the big jug. And for the oil filter, I got the best Napa filter they had, and 7 quarts of the oil was $63. And I'm not gonna change it right away. I'll wait till we get some nice warmth outside. And I like this one because the oil filter is almost vertical, so I can fill it up with oil. That's something you should do to your cars. I did it on every vehicle I had, and cars where the oil filter was mounted sideways, I bought that little bracket that you could put on there. I think I got it from Summit, and you put that on where the oil filter goes. It's got an O-ring on it, and then you crank it down. And I Loctited it. I red Loctited it on there, and then the filter screws straight up from down underneath. And I never had stones kick up and hit it or anything like that. Never had any problem, and that way I could fill the oil filter up full. So when you start the engine, the oil light doesn't come on and starve for oil for a while. But I mentioned it in another video. There is a trick, and you can look in your owner's manual and see if it'll work on your car. But there's something about when they're running, it's harder on the engine with no oil than when you're cranking them. So what you do is you push the brake pedal down hard, and you push the accelerator all the way to the floor, and then you hit the start button. And what that'll do is that'll cycle the engine enough to fill the oil filter, and then you start your car. So I got that done. This car, I have to take it to somebody to do the transmission fluid and filter. I don't know the history of that, but I'd like to get that done, make sure I don't have any problems. The transmission shifts like a dream. You can't even feel it. I do have to take it into the Buick dealer, because when I first got it, it was riding super smooth. It just had this, not a Lincoln ride, but a pretty good solid ride. And then it has this M&S feature, and it's not. I thought it was mud and snow, but it's not. It's manual shift, and then it's got a button on the side, and you can hit it up or down. You can downshift, you can upshift, and shifts pretty quickly. But what it does is it magnetizes the shocks, just like what the Vet has, and that's a custom order for that car, and it stiffens it up. I mean, you feel every little rock. You hit a little rock and you feel it. Well, when I put it back in the regular uh, mode, it stayed in that stiff, in a very stiff ride. And when you go over bumpy roads or railroad tracks or something, it's horrible. It's not a good riding car now. And I talked to the guy at the dealership, and he said that was a problem with them. They get stuck. It's an electronic thing, and you have to take it to the dealer. So that's what I'm going to do. I just got my payday, so I'll probably do that here pretty quick. But we're looking forward to a good summer with the kids. Next week they're calling for Indy 80s, so we'll get them out to the park. I want to buy Faye a chair so that when we go to the park, we can sit in the park instead of, because we've been sitting in the car. It's been cold. She had allergies so bad I couldn't believe how her face got like a brick red on it. So that wasn't too good for her. The trees were just dropping pollen like rain. So that affected her pretty bad. This area of the country, I wished before she would have came, I would have moved down south, and then she could have come straight to there, because I'm not happy living in this area anymore. I don't like the cold weather. I was sitting around the house here last week with a hoodie on, a hat, and a jacket, because what happened, we had excuse me, the week before we had nice warm weather, 70s, and it even went up to 80 for a couple of days. So they turned the boiler off. Well, then when it got cold, when it went down to 50, there's no thermostat on it. They have to come over here and turn it on. Well, they never turned it on, so it was cold in here. I was freezing. And Faye likes to have the windows open, she says, for fresh air, and it just was ridiculous in here. I'm just not happy. The air doesn't move through here good enough. It just got too dang cold. But I got my oil change. It's not due yet. It has the oil life thing. I read the owner's manual on how to reset it. I'll have to do that when I'm all done with the oil change. And then sometime this month I want to get in and have them check the tranny fluid. You can always tell if the tranny fluid was done, because when they take the pan off, the plug will be in there from the bottom of the stick. If it was ever done, there's no plug in there. And the people who had it before me were up on the maintenance. I mean, they were big time on the maintenance on the car. They took it to the dealer to have everything done. It's got stickers in the door, so I'm sure it was done, but I don't want to take any chances with having trouble with the transmission. It does say on there that you have to do something with the timing chain, but that's way up at 150,000 miles. I don't hear any noise from the timing chain at all. But one thing that I didn't like about it, I wished I could have got the 3800 motor, but they didn't have any of them that didn't have 200,000 miles. This one's a direct injection, but it's got ports on the engine, and what they do is they run it, and then they send some stuff in there to clean the bottom of the valves. But I've seen a lot of cars direct injection, and it's just horrible what the underside of the valves look like, because there's no detergent to help keep them clean. So that's something that'll have to be also done. I'll have to get a price on that when I'm down at the dealership and see what they want to charge for that. I want to keep this car in good shape. We love it. I mean, it's just an absolutely fantastic car. I like it. When you need to get up and go, man, it gets up and goes. It really moves along well, handles well. It's like a Buick Vet. It handles the corners so well. I have never heard the tires screech. The one day we were coming up on, I think it was Engle Road, and there was absolutely no cars at the light, and I got a green light, and I handled that corner at 45. And it stayed in my lane, didn't go out of the lane at all. It just handled it. And tires didn't squeal, nothing. I said, boy, if you had to do an emergency maneuver in that buggy, it'll do it. I mean, it's a really good car, and when you kick it in the butt, it goes. It really moves along well. So, but Dorothy's Dorothy and Faye went over to her buddy's house, and Dorothy's going to stay with her little friend. She's got her little friend over there, and they're going to do girl stuff. And she came and picked her up, and they'll be bringing her back here probably pretty soon. It's almost 9 o'clock now. So I hope Dorothy has a nice time with her buddy. But, hey, guys, my hair's grown back. Anyway, I can't believe it's black. But I think that's from drinking out of my copper cup. I was doing a lot of reading about the iron. I was taking iron pills, and it said without the copper, the iron will do you no good. It could cause you problems. So I got a copper cup, and I did a pretty cool thing. I dug. We were at the Indian store, and I was digging them, seeing them for $14.99, and I dug in the back, and I found one with an old price tag on it for $9.99. And I pour that full at night, and then every morning I get up, I drink out of my copper cup. They're not putting copper plumbing in a lot of places. New houses that are going up, it's all plastic, which sucks. But heck, way back in Roman times, they knew that copper was, had an antibacterial and was good for you. So I have that on. I take a Tangy Tangerine stuff, and it has copper in it. And I want to make sure I get the right vitamins. I don't feel too bad right now. I went down to do my first thing for the VA. They did the hearing test because I got that terrible ringing in my ear. When I was in boot camp, there was some dude, I don't remember his name, I can't remember his name, but he was from New York, Chicano guy, real jerk. And we got paired up at the firing range, and he stuck the pistol right by my ear and pulled the trigger. And popped my eardrum. And I'm not kidding you, I was dizzy for 2 days. It really messed my ear up, and this ear's never been right. I got the worst ringing in the world. They're ringing like crazy right now. It gets hard to hear because the dang things are ringing so bad. But I had to do that, and then I'll be going down. They'll make me another appointment coming up here for the rest of it, because we put some things on the list. And I hope everything goes all right, and we can get a percentage anyway. I'd like to hear that, and that would be really good. That would help us out a lot. But we're also trying to get Faye set up to help and take care of me, that she can get paid, and that goes through something through VA. So we started the ball rolling on that, and they wanted me to do the thing for Medicare because I don't have the Part B. And the lady said, no, it's different. And she sent me a link to fill this out. And I said, okay. So I went in there and I set up an account. And then it said, you got to do this authentication. Okay, so I pushed the button. I did. They sent me a number, and I had to punch the number in. Well, it just kept going to that. I have to call this lady back because it wouldn't leave that. There was nothing I could do. I played around with it for 2 hours. I tried all different things. They got 5 different things you could do. And they had one where you got to scan a CR code. Well, how can I scan a CR code when I'm doing this on my phone? So it's just a lot of these government sites. It's like my VA site that I go to. I've got my password and all this stuff. And if I want to see where I'm at, because there's 8 levels of this thing I go to, and I was all the way up to 6, and then it dropped back to 3 because they want more information. Sometimes that don't work for a week, 2 weeks at a time. You try to go on there and it says the site's down, and I've been having nothing but trouble. I thought it was my phone, and we'll see. It's just a long process. This is, for us, it's been 1.5 years. I was telling that girl at the hearing where they were checking my hearing, I says, yeah, it's been 1.5 years. She goes, oh my, that's the longest I've ever heard of. And I said, well, no, there's other guys that try to get this, and they go for years and years, and they don't get anything. They're in the ground before there's any money, and that's a royal shame. Because this was caused by the problem I had when I was in the service, and then when I was in, and I went to said I need to see a doctor or something, because this is bad. I couldn't hear. It was blank on this side for quite a while, and they were like, "Get down and give me 50." They wouldn't let me go. I mean, they were just absolutely rotten to me. I was the tallest guy there, so I was definitely being singled out. Like when they go to check your Foot Locker and stuff like that, they'd pull all my stuff out and throw it all over the barracks and tell me that I was unsat, and make me do 50 push-ups. I remember when I first got in, I thought, boy, this was a mistake. I'm glad I went now though, because I have the VA for the problem that was going on with me, and I just hope this works out, and that this poison that's in my body will get out. The stem cell thing, I'm telling you what, guys, I don't want to hear anybody else having to go through it. I mean, it really, really wrecks you. And then you got to be careful of what these doctors want to give you. At the VA, I don't think the doctors really check what the other doctors are doing. They just don't. Because I remember when they gave me this stuff, they said, "Oh, this stem cell affected your heart," and I didn't take them. I just thought, I read about them. They give you a sheet, and I thought, no, this just doesn't seem right to me. And when I saw the kidney doctor the next day, he was like, don't take that. And my kidney percentage, they sent me a paper, I'm down to like 9%. And they got me scheduled for dialysis, which really sucks. They're gonna do classes, so I know what to expect, but we don't know if I'm gonna have to. When I was at the kidney doctor last time, they said, hey, it could be, you could need it in a couple months, you could need it in a couple years. He said, if you stay at the percentage you're at now, if it doesn't get any worse, we're not going to put you on dialysis. We're going to just keep watching you. But I've been doing a lot of reading about the blood work. And when I when I was in the hospital, they came in and they took 9 vials of my blood. So when I was in there last time, I told them, pal, you can have a half a vial. And he didn't even blink. He said, okay. Because he had like 7 of them sitting there he was going to fill up. And I said, no, you're taking too much. And so they did all their tests they needed to do with a half a vial. So you got to watch these guys. What are they doing with it? Why do they need so much? So I don't know if your body can replace that or what. But it's definitely, I don't think it's really good to get 9 vials of the blood sucked out of you, and then they want to do it every week. And it just don't sound right to me. But that's where we're at. I don't feel too bad. I feel like I got osteoporosis in my back. I can't straighten my back out. If I sit in this wheelchair and I lean back like this, I can get it to crack all the way from the bottom of my ribs all the way up to my neck. And it's definitely not good. We did a little bit of walking today. Like I say before, I don't tire out. My legs don't tire out from walking. My back, the muscles in my back just get so tired. And I know I went with Faye. We went around Coal Lake. We did a walk there, and I had to stop and have a set. It was all in the back that was getting fatigued. So what are you going to do? But that's where we're at right now. And thank you guys for all your prayers. Don't forget to pray for each other. And I wish you all the best. And this is Rick Shaw out.